All right, got my whole house water filtration system in the mail, and that's how big it is. You can see, nicely wrapped. A lot of foam too. To lift it up, oh my gosh, it is pretty heavy. Okay. You do get instructions, and you get the little tool, and it's pretty thick. It's pretty damn solid. Look at that, it's like an inch thick of plastic. So yeah, that's gonna work. And look at that, nicely well packed so they don't break. Good job on that. Don't know why there's water on it. Check that out. Why is there water on it? Is this pre-used? Why the heck is there water? I don't know. Maybe they tested it from the factory. I don't know. All right, so I finally got the pressure gauge from Express Water in the mail today. It took like a week to get. Okay, when they sent this to me, it didn't have any Teflon tape on it, so I wrapped a good 14 times around because I had really thin tape. I'm gonna put this on. Now it just says hand tighten. You don't want to use a wrench even, according to the directions. All right, so that's pretty tight. All right guys, now we're going to install this whole house water filtration system, and it's going to be with all copper components and brass ball valves and a brass ice spring sediment filter. The reason why I'm using copper is because it's what I already have in my house, 3/4 inch copper, okay? There's not a lot of videos on YouTube on how to do this with copper installation. Yeah, it's definitely easier to do PEX or PVC or something plastic. But let's face it guys, if we're gonna run a filtration system and try to get the cleanest water, let's stick with copper. It's more safe for you than plastic or even PEX. In my opinion, it's the best thing to use for water sources. All right, let me show you how this is gonna be set up here. So we're gonna have our T here to our on-off valve going into the pre-sediment filter. This has a threaded on one side and a sweat on the other, same with here. And then we're gonna have, these are my connections into the actual filter system. And you can see it's threaded on one side and then a sweat on the other side, okay? It's gonna elbow out here, come up here, going across here, another on-off valve going into my T, and then that's my bypass. So if I ever need to service this one goes off, and turn that on, you'll have water to your whole house while you're servicing it. So no, if anybody got to use a toilet or shower or whatever, they can still do that. Okay, so first off, you do not, I repeat, do not want to solder this up after you install this into this housing, because this is not metal here where it comes in and out. I'm going to be soldering all this here on the ground, and all I need is just a few pieces of pipe to go in between each section just to solder onto. First thing you want to do is cut these to length. You want to have them at least 2 to 2.5 inches long. Any shorter than that, then you're going to have these, when you push them in, they're going to be too close together and it's going to be really hard to solder. And I find 2 to 2.5 inches is great for that. So I'm going to cut a bunch of these up because I need them all over the place. Every time you go around, you tighten this knob up. Sometimes I go around a couple times. Tighten it up. And you can pick these up at even on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description if you don't have one, if you're thinking about doing this in your home and you've never done it before. All this stuff will be in the description. Everything that I use, all the tools and anything else that I use. So that's another one. And repeat that as many that you need. I need 1, 2, probably 5 or 6 of them, maybe give or take a few. Okay, I do want to mention this because some people may not know that there's a difference in copper pipe size. So this red one, they sell it at Home Depot, and the green one as well. It's type M is the red and type L is the green. So the difference is one is thicker than the other. You can see this is type L. It's just a little bit thicker than the type M. If you Google it, it'll say that the type M lasts to 15, 20 years, 25, and that this type L will last up to 50 to 80 years or whatever. So if you can, it's a little bit more, but the type L would be a better thing to get. But if you only got type M, that's fine too. All right, after you cut your pipe, you want to test fit it all. Okay, everything's in there where it needs to go. This one, I'm not sure how high I want it, so I just put one in there for now. But I do see one problem. Once I mount this to the brick wall here, mount it like that, you can see over here, it doesn't line up. Yeah, 1.5 inches, 2 inches off right there. All right, I found a 45-degree elbow here, and that'll work. I just have to cut this one a little shorter. All right, I just dry fitted everything just to see what it would look like, and it's looking pretty good. So you can see my T's are right there. All I have to do is cut that pipe there and tie it in on the main water in. Now I'm ready for flux and solder. I gotta be smart about the way I do it. I can't just do it next to the plastic housing because you'll cook the housing. So you gotta be at least a foot away. A foot from here is about past that on-off valve right here. Okay, next step. I have to take this out of the threaded port so I can solder, because you don't want to solder within 12 inches to this port. I'm going to take this pipe off and I'm going to solder here, 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 and here. Not solder this piece here because I need to be able to thread that on. And on this side, over here, same thing. Take the threads out, solder this up off of the housing here so it doesn't cook that. I'll solder here, here, here and here, here. All right, if you want to keep these pipes straight, just take a marker. You don't want to lose the position, and put a mark on the copper and then one back here so you know where it needs to line up. Because if you don't line these up right, if you had this one over here, it's going to be crooked. It's not going to line up. So I'll just put my marking where I want it, right there, and one right there. Okay, so next step is you want to take each pipe and take them apart. Every pipe cutter has a different style of one of these deburring tools. See, this one comes out from the side here. It's a Husky. You got this one, you push up on it, comes out, and then you got this one that flips. But almost all of them have some kind of deburring tool on it. Okay, so now, see, I marked everything so I know where it goes, because this one's kind of sensitive to where it's going to go. So I'll take this one off, and the pipe that I cut is the one that needs to be deburred. And you just take this and run it like that. If you see any pipe that's broken off, it'll clean it up. They also sell these. You can use these too. These ones just go in and you just turn them just like that. And that cleans up the inside. And the next you need, I'd recommend one of these. This is a good one. Okay, or you can use some, this is abrasive open mesh. Okay, that stuff works good. But I like to use this first. Just run it over here like this. You got to do this to the copper so that solder will stick to it. You want to go at least 1 inch in. Sometimes I even take this brush and just give it a little clean on the inside too. And then I also like to use this stuff. Just get a little bit. I think this stuff's a little finer. Just like that. See how much shinier that is than this side? and that's ready to go. See, when you put this back on, you know exactly where it's got to go. This one, same thing. You want to clean these off on the inside. Find your mark. And line it up. And I would double check, even though you got your marking on there, you might have got one backwards or something. Double check, make sure it's where you want it when that goes in. See, I'm a little off here. That looks good there to me. That's ready for flux. Before I flux that one up, I'm gonna do each one of those like that, clean them off and get them prepared. This one doesn't matter where it goes. So that one's done. And we'll go to this one. All right, next we're adding some flux to the piping. Plumbing flux right there. Pretty easy, just take the pipe apart here. What you want to do is you want to do the outside here and the inside with the flux. Go about inch out. And just keep repeating the process. And just line up your marks again. So you can see my marks are there. I'll triple check it. I'll put it back on there anyway, even after I do this. Make sure it's all good. All right, so all my fittings are done. Just let them cool off. Make sure there's no pinholes or anything in there. And we should be able to put this together. All right, I went around this about 15 times with some tape. And I'm also going to use some True Blue thread sealant right here, pipe thread sealant, because I just don't trust the tape. And I've never had any letdowns with this stuff. Now I'm gonna have to turn this, and when you're turning, you're gonna hit the wall. So I need to pull this out so I can turn it. Now these are only supposed to be hand tight. They don't want you to over tighten these, so keep that in mind. Probably do one more time, but I'm a little bit afraid to go too much. Let's go one more time. What the heck? Live on the edge here. All right, I think we're good there. Something about like that. Okay, so that's gonna go in here next. Stick that one there. All right, so next piece is gonna be this piece on this side. Same thing, gotta put some tape on it, and gotta go the way of the thread. So if it goes this way to tighten, I wanna do it the opposite direction. This way here. The whole point is that's 3, 4, every time you go around 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm only able to do 12, but that's okay because I got a lot of pipe dope. This says 14 to 20 times, depending on the thickness of the tape. And you see where I teared it off? It teared off this way, so it doesn't tear off the tape when you're turning it. All right, put some tape on that one and some more pipe thread sealant. And now, I'm gonna put this on again. When you turn this on, it's going to hit the wall, so we got to pull this out away from the wall. And you want to make sure the arrow is going that way towards the inlet. See the arrow? That way. I think that's about good there. It's getting real tight already. I think we're good there. And then the next one, same thing. All right, that's all done. I had one more fitting here, the one that I didn't do, which is a 45 that goes there. And then I got these that'll go into the shark bite, and it'll be angled somewhere like that. And this top one, I haven't soldered that one in yet. I'll do that one later when I do the last pipe on top. All right, so I just soldered all those up where I need them to be with the other pipe lined up. I got one more left to do. I'm going to do this one on camera so you can see it. Also, one more thing I didn't mention, make sure you take the filters out before you solder. And the pre-sediment filter, if you're using one, take that one out as well, because it's got some plastic internals. See this filter? It's plastic on the inside. See that? And the housing's plastic as well. Alright, so I put some wet rags here to protect the plastic housing. Alright, that looks good. Take my little rag and give it a nice clean off. Pull off this pipe on this side here, because that's what the side, the plastic housing, you don't want it to heat up too much. Doesn't have to be the prettiest in the world. As long as it's sealed, that's all that counts. No one cares if it looks pretty or not. Well, I don't. As long as it don't leak. Okay, we're good there. So that's all done. Now we can shut off the water to the house. And you can see there's a shark bite fitting. I don't like that, but I can't do anything without calling the city to turn off the main water out there. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. Hopefully it's okay. And I just have to do one more cut here. Put that, solder this one into that, and we'll be done. But let's go ahead and shut this off now. All right, all the faucets are on in the house. I'm gonna shut this one off. And I'm also gonna turn off the water heater as well. I'm gonna unplug that. That's unplugged. And I'm gonna go around turning all these valves off here. To the water heater. I'm gonna shut this one off here. That way when I take this pipe loose, there won't be too much water coming down there. There's a little secret. If you don't have a shark bite tool to take this off, use a wrench. Get it on there and tighten it, and then you can push down on that seal and break that loose. There we go. And we'll just let that drain out. There's a lot of water still in there. All right, next we're gonna take a measurement. You can see this pipe is kind of loose up here. It's not really tied down, so I got a little bit of play up and down. So I'm just gonna kind of look here. You just kind of eyeball it, because I can go up or down, about right there. There we go. It's a pretty clean pipe considering how old this house is. I don't know when they installed this, but it's pretty clean. This will be my last solder joint. And the other one's just a shark bite. Hopefully that shark bite's still good. I believe it's good. I don't think it's that old. All right, I think we're good to go. If I can just keep this nice and dry. Because believe me, water, if you got water, it doesn't let you solder if you got water. All right, so how we're gonna do this is I'm gonna put the shark bite in there first. So I'm gonna lift up on this, come over. Actually, you know what? I better not. Shark bites don't like heat. We better do that one last. Let's solder this first. There we go. And we'll get this done quick. Okay, let's put some towel on this valve here. Don't want to cook the valve or this handle like that. All right, that's looking pretty good. All right, now all I have to do is put that into the shark bite. Let's cool that off a little bit more. All right, I'll just use this rag on there and then I'll lift up. Get it over there and just push down. All right, it should be in there, hopefully. One way to find out if it's leaking, shut this one off, shut this one off. Let me cool this pipe down a little bit more. All right, let's see if it's leaking. There we go, real slow. All right, I don't see any leaks on the shark bite. Oh, spoke too soon. There we go, we got a leak somewhere right here. Shut it back off. And we'll go through this process all over again. So I'll shut this one off too. And that's kind of a messy spot where I soldered there. It's kind of a goofy weld there. So I'll go ahead and resolder that joint. See what a gunky solder that was right there. All right, what I did is I took it off from the shark bite over here. Again, drained the water out. And I heated it back up after it was all dry. And it went over it a few times with some new solder. And it should be good now. All right, let's check this again. Let's see. I really don't like these shark bites, telling you. Don't like them. But it's holding. It's not leaking. All right, let's turn this one on now. Oh, there we go. All right, still bloody leaking somewhere. Or maybe not. Yep, now it's leaking up at the top. Leaking on this fittings. What the heck? I shouldn't solder too good this time. Okay, now we ain't got no leaks from the shark bite to here and to here. So we're all good for the house. So that's what I wanted mostly, just to get the water back on in my house. And now I can go and put my filters in. The 3 filters are right there, and the pre-sediment filter, and then we'll go and test this part of the system, which has a lot of fittings, so hopefully no leaks. All right, so every time you take these filters out, it's supposed to have silicone grease on the seals. The seal is right here. I think that they shipped it with some grease on it because it looks like there's a little bit of a greasiness to it. I think they already did it, but this is what you want to get. It's Danco silicone grease. Okay, this one is it's for faucets and valve stems. So this one is not dangerous for you, but there's some that they sell like at Walmart that they're actually bad, like if you get it in the water system. So you don't want that type. You want something that's safe for faucets. Okay, because that could get into your water system. So like I said, this, I think it's already been done, but I'll show you just in case, like if it hasn't been done, just put a little bit on there like that, and just take your finger and just rub it around, and that's supposed to keep this seal from cracking. Make it last. They do sell these seals too. If they go bad, you can buy new ones. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and install these filters back in here, and then we're gonna check for leaks again. All right, there's one filter in. See, I could see this one, it's got some kind of grease already on it. I'm pretty sure they did it from the factory. Just put a little bit more just in case. Let's be on the safe side. Okay, once you get those on there, use your tightening tool. It's just got to be just snugged. Okay, and if it leaks later, you could always tighten it again. I'm really hoping I don't have any leaks in these other pipes, because I already screwed them in, thread them in, and if it's leaking, it's gonna be a pain in the butt. All right, so that's good. All right, this filter, I'm gonna put some of this grease on the seals as well. They do include another seal with this for free in the box when it comes. All right. Put that in there. Just sits in there like that. To the right is tighten. And then I think you just give it a little itty bitty turn. There we go. Now the scary part is starting this up and seeing if we got any leaks. If we do, I'm gonna be frustrated, and I'm just gonna call it a night and fix it another day. It's already late. So first thing I'm gonna do is turn on this one here. So slowly. Actually, turn this one off here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna turn off my water heater. I'm gonna unplug it because I don't want that going on. And I don't want that dirty carbon water in here either. So I'm gonna shut this one off here and shut it off here. So no water goes into this system here. And matter of fact, I'm gonna shut it off here too, going upstairs. I'm just gonna have it run downstream. That is if we don't have any leaks here. So wish me luck, yeah. All right, you can see that water filling up there. There it goes. No leaks here that I can see. I'm going to shut this one down now. Check this one for leaks. All right, I think we're good. That's good. And those filters are filling up. And you want to flush the system. And that's why I bypassed the water heater. I don't want the carbon filter, that charcoal in there, to get into the water heater. Any leaks? None here. None here. Thank God for that. No leaks over there. No leaks here. No leaks there. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. I see this pressure gauge is not working. That might be too tight. So they say to, if it doesn't work, to turn it. There it goes. There we go. See all that? Let's get some of this water out here. Well, that's got a lot of pressure. All right, so there we go. Now my gauges are better, except for this one's not working too good. They said to back it up one turn if it doesn't register. There we go. So we're actually good at PSI. It says 80 PSI. See that? All right, again, no leaks, so we're good there. Double checking. Let's go and turn this one on to the whole house now. So this one's off, and now it's just coming from the whole house filter system. Okay. Now, according to the directions, we need to go flush a sink, and that's what I'm gonna do. So the nearest sink that I got is right here. I'm gonna turn this one on. And I'm just gonna let it run for a good 5-10 minutes. All right, so it's only at like 30-40 PSI right now with one faucet open. And I could hear air coming out over there, and it's, I don't know, it's as if this thing is too restrictive here. You can see the water is very airy, full of, it's white. And that's why you gotta run the filter for a little bit. Clean out those filters. All right, it took a few minutes, but the pressure has gone back up, and yeah, according to the directions, the water may appear cloudy as air bubbles, and we've seen that. And it says also the air will be pushed out of the system and your pipes after the shutdown. So this is normal. Run the water until it becomes clear, then run for additional 5 minutes before turning the faucet off. And look, you can see my pressure has gone back up to, it's about 75, 76, maybe 78. So we're good on pressure. I always thought this house had very bad pressure, but it's actually pretty good pressure. So yeah, it was getting air out of the system. That's why the pressure was real low here. And these things were full of bubbles here, and it was acting as if it was not getting enough water in the system, but that's just because the filters are new. But it's all good now. And I really like that this filter is clear so you can see when it needs to be replaced. And the last thing I need to do to secure this is get some masonry bits and put a screw there, and that'll just keep this from moving around. The floor is really not level here. And then, job done. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a like, thumbs up, and subscribe. Subscribing will help me out. In a few months, I will make another video, and I'll let you guys know if this was worth it or not, buying this. Because right now, I've never had one of these before, so I don't know. But I do know that these filters do work because I have a reverse osmosis, and that does work. So I'll let you know if my wife, my daughters have better hair, if their hair is healthier, if it's less tangled, less frizzy, as they say. And I'll let you know in the next video, guys. Take care and God bless.